All right. First and foremost, I have a good one. Please take a minute to like this video, share, and subscribe my channel. If it means anything to you, if I mean anything to you, this means so much to me. I have something really important to say. So I have been straight arguing with God since yesterday because sometimes, when I get things to say, like I do, like I try to be obedient and I just say them, but then I'm like, sometimes I don't like the things that I have to say. And mainly this one because I'm thinking about it and I was like, man, I talk to dead people all the time. Not in reality, but grief is something that is so difficult to get through, especially when we lose people that mean so much to us. And we have to understand about people that, people have different levels of connecting with people. And so my story is this. Like I said, I was really shy when I was younger. But when we moved from where our whole family lived in Connecticut in the 4th grade, there was a girl who was in the 5th grade that lived up the street from me, and her name was Coylin, and she was my best friend. I don't even remember how we met, probably like on the bus or something. And we were so different. And she had like muscles and she was really strong farm girl and I was like really wimpy girl. And, I liked school and she didn't. But we just got along. She was like family to me. And when you have a best friend when you're a kid, sometimes it's just because it's convenient and they live up the street. But that becomes like a regular part of your life and it's so important to you. And then she was the kind of friend that as we got older, we did kind of drift apart. And she had, I think I've talked about her before, she had a whole other group of friends that were into some things that I had not anything to do with because I just didn't have that kind of lifestyle. And the thing is, she loved me so much and she kept me like protected from that group of friends that she had. And I didn't know what she was up to when we weren't hanging out, and I had moved away and we didn't get to spend time with each other. But I remember just I hadn't seen her in so long, and going to visit my sister one time, and she immediately comes to my sister's house because I'm going to be there, and she was so tired, and literally I hadn't seen her so long, and she gave me a hug and like fell asleep holding my hand like on my sister's bed to take a nap. And it's just like amazing when somebody loves you that much. She was the first person to show up even before my sister got there when I had a baby, and it wasn't a question. She called me and said, I'm coming. And she had her own issues. Like I said, we were so different, but she was such a loyal friend, and she meant so much to me. Even it could be years between talking to her and it would be like no time was lost. So when I was in high school, I met my other best friend, and when you meet somebody that's just going, like, you just know they're important and you don't know why. And this dude was so important to me, and it's not like didn't have other really good friends that were so important to me, but this particular person I really needed. And even though I didn't realize the dynamic at the time, this is a person who loved me unconditionally, no matter what. He didn't take any of my crap. I didn't take any of his crap. But it's like we had this psychic connection and knew that we were like bonded forever. And I would always know, like, he would pop into my head before he showed up. And this is the kind of person you could really tell anything to, that could be really honest with you. And this person always had my back, and like he was like family to me. And I didn't have a way, I didn't know how to connect even with my own family. I wasn't close to them. I actually moved away from him realizing when I was 19 that I have this insane dependence on this person that is not my family. And it felt wrong to me. It felt like I need to be able to have those connections with like the people that I'm related to, even though I didn't know how. And it seemed like I was so attached to him that I needed to separate myself. Because this dude, for real, like, let me stay at his house the first time I got head lice. Taught me how to drive in his own car. Took me to the clinic to get birth control when I was 18, even though his aunt worked there. And it didn't have anything to do with him. He just went with me. And he's such an amazing person. He taught me how to stand up for myself. He was like the only person that ever recognized that I just don't stand up for myself. And I didn't even know it. And it's so hard because like it was just fate that happened that, I moved here to get away from him, and then he ended up getting sick and ended up at NIH, which is close to where I lived, and so I could spend time with him when he was in treatment there. And it was just like the craziest situation altogether. And it's so hard when get separated from the people that you love so much, and then especially when you already have trouble making connections with people, and then these people, my best friend Corey Lynn died when she was 30, and she was in Japan, and I hadn't talked to her in a long time. And Michael died, he had cancer, and it was just like, then you're just alone, and so I think if we're going to talk about healing, we have to talk about grief, because it's like it's been the biggest obstacle for me in being able to move forward, because not only did I not know how to make connections, like I didn't know how to move past those connections, and I feel like I've been stuck for so long. And so after yesterday talking about why we are not supposed to consult the dead, as far as like necromancy and what's it called, you have a seance and conjure up dead people, why we're not supposed to do that. And the main reason is, yes, we are supposed to consult God, we're supposed to pray to God. So I was mad because I was like, wait a minute, I still talk to these people all the time as if they're still here. I love them so much, even though, it feels to me like they're still here somewhere, and maybe they are, I don't know. But the thing is that, when Jesus was rolling around collecting disciples, and he says to this guy, follow me, and he says, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. And Jesus says to him, let the dead bury the dead, but thou go and preach the kingdom of God. So another said, I will follow thee, but let me first go bid them farewell, which are at home at my house. And Jesus says, no man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of God. So this didn't even snap into my head until I was thinking today again about, wow, I talk to dead people that aren't there all the time. And what he's saying is that the reason that we are to pray to God and not consult dead people, yes, not because you don't want to be drawing in demons or other entities that are deceitful, if you believe that or not. But universally, we have to move on. There is no past. Those people are not living anymore, and we have work to do. And so we have to be able to do the work, to work through our grief and let those people go, because we have to free up that space in our hearts and our minds to do the work that we need to do here and now. And it's taken me a long time to realize that that's exactly what I haven't done, that I need to do. And why yes, I had this amazing bounce back and I like prosper and I prosper and I prosper, and then I get in the funk and I feel so alone. I haven't let these people go. So I think that's really important. I don't want to make this too long because it's really that simple, is that there is only now. We work toward the future with what we have now. We can't use, you can use what you learned, but to dwell in the past is to work backwards, and we can't afford to do that. So, we've got to learn how to support each other, especially in these things. That's not the last friend you'll ever have, and that's what I realize, is that Jesus also said, when the multitude was saying, your mother and your brother are looking for you, and he says, like, who's my brother and who's my mother? The people that are on his page, that are working with him, that want to do the work that he has to do now, they're his family now. And I think we need to take that approach with a lot of people, and then God will put us in the presence of the people that we need to move us in the right direction. When we have that faith, we have to expect it, and we have to work with the people that he puts in our way. So I felt this so strongly. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. My goal is to just work through things and help us all to heal. So I know that I'm not the only person that goes through this, and I would love for you to share this message and subscribe if you will. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support.